Do we have the CEO on?
Yep.
Okay. Les?
Yes, hello.
How are you, sir?
Not too bad. How are you?
Very good. Where have we... Tell me your title and what you have to do with the Cryptophone 500.
Okay, well, we are ESD America, and I'm Les Goldsmith, the CEO, and we manufacture the Cryptophone for the United States and all of the Asia Pacific.
Okay.
Are you originally from Idaho, Les?
No, I think...
You know by that accent,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so...
Boise, I would say. Probably the southern part of the state.
So, Les, the Cryptophone 500, you're the guys who now have found these cell phone towers, and you found them because your phones are built to figure out if somebody is trying to break in or steal your information. Is that right?
Yeah, what we did was we've been in the cryptophone business for 11 years now, but our secure phone on our latest model, which is an Android version, we addressed like 468 major vulnerabilities we found in the Android operating system. Then what we did was decide, it seems it was on Android, we may as well go ahead and take control of the baseband processor on the phone. So basically we made like a sandbox and firewalled the processor. So if you're a government agency and you want to turn on someone's microphone, you have to send instructions to the baseband processor. If you want to turn on their camera, you've got to get to the baseband processor to do it. So what we did was build a firewall right around it. So we can detect when somebody puts spyware on the phone and it tries to attack the phone, or, for example, if the phone connects to a cell tower that may be fake. So that's essentially what this does.
Okay, hang on. Before we get into what you found on these cell phones, how much are these phones? How do I buy one?
$3,500.
How much?
$3,500 each.
How about I give you $850? $3,500.
$20,000.
$3,500 a piece. Are these phones? Do you have to have them? Are they fully encrypted conversations?
Yes, we use AES 256 and 2FIS, two of the stronger algorithms at the same time.
Yeah, I don't have any idea
we don't have any centrally managed keys, so our setup means that you can actually make an encrypted call from your office to, anywhere in the world, and nobody even knows you've made a phone call.
Okay, and does it mean that that I have to have another phone on the other end receiving it?
Absolutely. Anything that is truly encrypted is end-to-end, which means that the receiving party has to have the same type of device. Anything where they say, we'll secure your call at our end, but you can call normal telephones, well, that means that, of course, one part of your call might be encrypted and the other half passing across the public network is unsecure. So it's not really true encryption.
But it's kind of cool because I could say then, I'm speaking to you from a secured line and this call is unsecured. And it would I'd be able to feel like a spy or something.
You'd be a very confused spy.
Right. Is this a system that, because I have always heard, forget about trying to encrypt anything if you're worried about the NSA or anything, because you cannot beat the government.
Yeah, we've heard lots of people say that as well, but the government buys our phone. So in terms of what this phone allows you to do, by controlling, first of all, the baseband, nobody can send messages to your phone instructing it to activate any particular feature. The phone records every event that happens, whether it be connecting to a cell tower or having like a miscellaneous update tried to send to the phone. It's alerted to all of this behavior. If the encryption is turned off on the cellular network you're on, it alerts you that the encryption has been turned off. If your call's forced from 3G back to 2G on a cellular network, it alerts you that that's happened.
And why would that be alarming, from going from 3G to 2G?
Well, I'll give you an example, first of all, that if you're being intercepted, to listen to a 3G call is a lot harder than to listen to a 2G call, because there have been many interceptors on the market and a lot of software on the market to intercept 2G calls for many, many years now. So if you have a 3G phone or 4G phone, what your phone will do is, if it can't find a 4G connection, it'll go to 3G. If it can't find a 3G, it'll go to 2G. And if it gets back to 2G, it's a lot easier to decrypt the call in real time, because GSM encryption is extremely weak. And if you know the codes that are being used to start with, you can listen to the call. So generally what a GSM interceptor will do is it will lock onto your phone pretending to be a cell phone tower. It'll tell you that it's part of your cellular provider's network. And it will say, by the way, we're not using 3G today, we're using 2G. So, when we speak, we're going to use 2G today, and by the way, we've also turned encryption off.
And so does this work with text messaging? Does this work with text messaging and everything else?
Well, text messaging is a lot easier to intercept again than even the cell phone call. But basically, every time you do a phone call on a normal phone, your phone does a handshake with a cell tower for your network provider, where it gives the SIM ID for your phone and so forth to the tower. The tower acknowledges if you're a prepaid customer, you've got credit or otherwise, and you can make the call. Or if you're postpaid, it makes sure your account's in order. And it tells you, this is the encryption that we have on, and, I can connect the call for you. So that authentication occurs. The difference is, though, that once your call passes that tower, there's very rarely any encryption whatsoever. The encryption only occurs from the handset to the tower. If those towers are linked via microwave links, there's usually no encryption on that end. So if you really wanted to intercept a call the easy way, you intercept it from the microwave link, because it doesn't have any protection on it whatsoever.
Okay, so now these towers that you found, what are they? Who do you think did this? What kind of money is involved to put these things up?
Well, it doesn't have to be a physical tower. That's the one misconception the media sort of got from this. And when we say a fake cell phone tower, that can simply be a laptop computer with two dongles plugged into it to actually give it GSM coverage.
I hate those
dongles. It doesn't have to be a large, fully built tower. So you can have somebody in a hotel room with a laptop that is, collecting every phone within half a mile and having it run through there instead of the normal cell tower. The way an interceptor works is, think of it like a cellular repeater. You put a cellular repeater in your building to give you better coverage, or your calls pass through the cellular repeater. Well, an interceptor pretends to be a cell tower and passes your call on like a cellular repeater. It just turns encryption off along the way so it can listen.
So who do you think is doing this, and why?
Some I would suspect the government. There's definitely going to be government use, especially in law enforcement agencies that need to be portable, because GSM interceptors usually have an effective range of less than a mile, usually half of that. So they need to be close to the target to do that, whereas, some federal agencies don't need to be near you at all because they'll do it straight over the network. The other thing, too, is that, you've got experts like Carsten Knoll that have demonstrated that he can do it with a laptop with $50 worth of attachments, dongles to it, and decrypt the call in the course of about half an hour. So there's open source software available for people to do this. They just can't decrypt the calls in real time. So there's obviously going to be industrial espionage, and there's also going to be people that are probably targeting celebrities. If they know their cell phone number, then they can target them, put them on a white list, and then track them whenever they make a phone call, follow them around in a car and listen to their calls every time they make or receive one.
Wow. Jeez. Amazing.
Who's buying your phones, Les?
Overall, right now, we produce 450 phones a week in Las Vegas, and we sell out 2 weeks in advance. So we get a lot of businesses buying them. We have a lot of government customers buying them. And just in the last few days of the recent article, we've had a lot of small businesses buying them, particularly those that have offices, in other states or overseas in Asia or Europe and so forth, want to make calls backwards and forwards. Because additionally, if they're using our phone, it's end-to-end encryption, but it's unlimited calling. So they can call as much as they like, and they're not paying any per minute fees or anything like that.
Les, I think it's fascinating. I'd love to. Do you have a website or something we could go to and find out more about the phone? I'd love to look into it.
Certainly. Well, that's esdcryptophone.com.
Have you guys shut down? I mean, not you guys, obviously, but have the authorities shut down the 17 towers that have been found?
Well, the towers can be portable. That's the issue. So the fact that there were 17 interceptors acting as fake cell phone towers during July.
Where were they?
There's a map available.
Where were they generally?
Well, just about a lot of major cities had them, and a number of smaller places had them as well. So they were fairly widespread. But these are just the ones that were detected by people using our phones in the field. So we have customers out there that we've said to them, we created a cell hacking Twitter page, and basically they can contact us and let us know, and we've been publishing it on Twitter whenever they find one. So they were just the ones that were reported in July. There have been more reported since July. So, the more phones we have out there, the more fake cell towers and things that we're going to find. But they're just the ones where people were within that half a mile range, really.
I just need to figure out who I trust to give the other phone to, so I can call them. And I don't know what we talk about, but
well, just so you're aware too, the cryptophone being around for 11 years now, it's the most widely used secure phone by foreign governments. So, we supply them to all across Asia to governments, all across to the friendly countries in the Middle East. They're widely used across Europe, and they're used by some defense, law enforcement, and intelligence customers in the US that want to have complete independence. Not everybody likes the government listening to their calls.
I don't like them listening to any of my calls, but the thing I really don't like is I don't like the fact that somebody could come in and turn on a camera or a microphone. That's the thing. It's not even my conversations as much as I don't like the fact that somebody can turn on that microphone or that camera at any time.
I find it's a bit of a novelty how people are coming out and saying, I've created a cover for your webcam, so that you can put a cover over the webcam on your laptop or your desktop PC.
Yeah.
And you think, well, that's great, but the computer still has a microphone.
Right.
So
right.
We don't have a cover for the microphone, or are they going to, release a gag to do that, perhaps?
Right. Right. Les Goldsmith, thank you so much for your information. I understand